Cooper, Brian, good morning, afternoon. How you doing?
Good morning, gents. How are you?
The last time I saw you, you FaceTime me, and I was in my closet getting dressed.
Yep.
You looked naked.
Good old naked Cooper from Brian's golf course. We showed everyone.
I was in my closet, naked and afraid, especially when y'all called. You're really the only two people I would ever, agree to. Yes, I'll take this FaceTime when I'm buck ass, getting ready for a little Halloween party. But
you guys can be rough on me, but it's all in fun, I think, because you guys are good partners on the course. You give advice. We're rooting for each other, and I want to take this time to note Kyle, our audio engineer and good friend and savior, broke 90 for the first time. Let's hear it for Kyle.
Wow.
Let's go.
Congratulations.
That's a big move.
Golf clap for Kyle. Congratulations. Was it an 89?
It was. You look at the, don't mock him. He's trying.
He's 76. He just shattered it.
It was a 68. No, they talk about only so many people ever break 100. And only so many ever break 90. And then once you get, like you guys, it's almost a burden to be good because now you got to live up to that thing you're supposed to be.
It's a heavy burden. It's a heavy burden that I have to live with.
The burden is similar when you answer your call naked in your closet and you two calling. It's a lot to live up to.
All right. Guys, I think we should start the show. You ready? Hi, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of We Need a Fourth. Please meet my degenerate gambling on horses buddy, Kenny Mayne. Hi, Kenny.
Hello, how are you?
And Cooper Manning, the more
handsome,
confused, very confused,
the most naked of the Mannings.
The dumbest Manning.
First off, congratulations to Cooper and his son on Texas winning. That was a big game for you guys. Congratulations on that whenever you're listening. And I spent the week with Kenny.
Yeah, good times.
Yep. That's a show in itself. I mean, why are we even having a guest?
Nothing but fun.
Talk about what you learned.
Me and Kenny and me.
Yeah, no, great.
He taught me the horses.
He didn't need to know about gambling. He already knew there's a thing called gambling. But then he knew you could do certain things about horses. I did pick the classic winner, Forever Young from Japan. I was proud of that. I gave you some good ones. I gave you some bad ones. Brian
Breeders' Cup.
Breeders' Cup.
We were brought out.
Breeders' Cup.
Free shout out Breeders' Cup. I told Brian I could end up losing money on this stupid podcast, like if they ever pay us. But I'm losing so much gambling at the same time.
Guys, we have a guest today. We cannot keep her waiting.
We have.
I'm very excited to see her again. She is perhaps the biggest golf influencer in the entire world. She won a Mountain West championship as a former collegiate golfer. She's a former pro, and like us, she is a very, very successful model. She's a columnist. She's a golf instructor. She's a podcaster. She's the host of Playing Around podcast that I was a guest. I heard it was their highest rated episode. Welcome to the program today, Paige Spiranac. Hi, Paige.
Thanks for having me on. What an intro.
I wrote it, all of it, just now.
Fantastic work.
How are you doing?
Life is good. Been busy, but, really can't complain. Trying to play a little bit of golf here and there, but it's getting a little cold where I'm at right now. So I'm going to have to put the clubs away pretty soon.
Now, I mean, I'm not going to give away your address. Are you not in Arizona anymore?
No,
have you moved?
Yeah, I moved. So not in Arizona anymore. So
you didn't tell me.
Thought you'd find out. After college, I wanted to play golf professionally, and you either need to live in Florida or Arizona, and I don't love humidity that much, so I picked Arizona. And after that, I wanted to go kind of live where I grew up, and it's much colder than Arizona, which I'm definitely missing right now.
She's back to the Arctic Circle is where she lives.
The Arctic Circle. Try to find that address, ladies and gentlemen. Cooper, I mean, we play this game. We don't do it with pro golfers, but it gives us a hint at least. I think we should play it today. Cooper, do you want to introduce our little game we play? Because we like to gamble. Here's our gambling game.
It's a little gambling game just to kind of get the show rolling. We like to guess the handicap of our fourth. And I don't do a lot of cheating like Brian and Kenny do. They do a lot of due diligence and they try to find some previous scores. I just look at the person and evaluate and say that handicap is. And so when I'm just first time we've ever met, Paige, but just kind of first come, first serve right here. I think you are a 3.5 handicap, 3.5.
Okay.
Ooh.
Don't take this as an insult. I'm going to go higher, not because I don't think you could and probably are very good. I've seen your swing. I know what you did in college. I know you almost were on the tour for a better amount of time than it was. So I'm going to say you've dropped back, though, because you're spending so much time influencing people. You don't have time to influence your own game. You're 5.5.
Okay, you guys are so wrong.
Oh,
you
good.
guys, you are not giving her the credit she deserves. I don't even have to put a plus in front of it because I think I'm going to be right regardless. I'm just going to say scratch. I'm going to say straight up scratch. Paige, what's your handicap?
It's funny because I play this game all the time with my girlfriend. So we'll be out at like a bar or a restaurant and we'll judge guys based off of the logos that they're wearing or in airports off of like their travel cases. And so we play Guess Your Handicap all the time. And so when we're at like a bar or restaurant, you guess the handicap and then someone has to go up to that guy and ask them what they actually are. And it's such a fun game.
Right.
So I am currently a +1 right now.
Yeah, you guys lose this. I think you lose triple for that.
It was either 5.5 or that. I didn't know which way to go.
It's one thing to lose. It's nothing to go ahead and come out of the gates and just offend our guests before we even start.
No.
Even a 3.5 is offensive.
Not offended.
Cooper.
It's funny because online everyone thinks I'm like a 20 handicap. And so for you to go that low is actually quite a compliment.
Well, I didn't say you. I just know you were all Mountain West. I'm disappointed you didn't go to UNLV and you went to San Diego State instead. Did UNLV come after you?
Yeah, it's funny. So when I was at San Diego State, we played against UNLV all the time, and we were kind of like rivals because we were two of the better teams in the conference. And so we played against them, tough competition. But I love the coaches. They had great courses in Las Vegas that they played at. And it was, I thought about it. Definitely thought about it.
You and Kenny have something in common, and y'all both were, young athletes, kind of maybe more inspired to be gymnasts, and then pivoted toward golf. Kenny looked at being a gymnast as well. Did you know that, Paige?
Sure.
I could tell right away. I mean, I was guess your sport, guess your handicap. I was going gymnast.
That's we play that next. Guess what you should have been.
Paige, you and I have met a number of times at various events throughout the years. It's always great to see you. Godfather, I don't know, maybe that's offensive. Godmother, you're the godmother, the matriarch,
the saint.
Damn it, I couldn't pull that word. The golf influencing community. I mean, golf online, I guess it's affectionately or disaffectionately referred to as YouTube golf now, has just exploded. What do you think is the reason behind it? I mean, it feels like now more people are watching and consuming the quote unquote YouTube golf. And obviously there's a huge new audience for golf that has been born specifically out of this. What do you think the reason is for that?
It's really interesting. So I started doing this in 2015 and there were, there's like different OGs. So we say Rick Shields is the godfather of YouTube. He started in 2013. You had like Garrett Clark, known as GM Golf, who's with Good, Peter Finch, another one, kind of like the OGs. You have the Bryan brothers who are doing trick shots, and then No Laying Up, who's doing podcasting. And it's interesting how it's kind of evolved after that. So then Foreplay came in, and they were kind of the first people to get mainstream attention. So I think when a lot of us started doing this, it wasn't a job. There was no such thing as a golf influencer, and it was really hard to monetize your social media. It just wasn't taken seriously because it was all about pro golf. And it started just to snowball. And I think it was all these different things started to line up perfectly for this to become a big success. I think COVID played a really big part in this, where there was the boom where you didn't really have much to do. So people were going out on the golf course and they were getting into golf for the very first time. And there wasn't also a lot of pro golf. And so they were consuming content in a very different way. And so people were used to consuming content in a traditional format. And with COVID happening, it kind of switched over to all digital content. Then after that, you have the Live versus the PGA Tour drama. And I think people got really sick of the money conversations. And one thing about golf is sometimes it seems a bit out of touch. You know, it's a little bit stuffy, it's elitist, and it doesn't feel that very welcoming. And so this conversation of golfers complaining about not making hundreds of millions of dollars makes it even more out of touch. And so you see these people online playing the game that you love in a very relatable way. And you didn't really get to see that before. And so I think people really started to tune into that, because that's the best part, at least my opinion, about the game of golf and why we love it so much. It's the reactions that you get from your buddies when you make a good putt. It's the trash talking. It's that camaraderie that you get. And I think that's what makes golf so special for a lot of us. And yes, we like to see the best in the world do what they do, but to see that really human side of golf, I think that is what people have been connecting to. And you see so many people now choosing to watch that over professional golf. And I think there's going to be a pathway where both will be very successful. But I think we're just leaning towards that now because it's cool, it's different, and it's relatable.
I mean, we typically don't stay in highbrow journalism here on this show, but I just had a conversation.
Speak for yourself.
Yeah. when we were at the Breeders' Cup. And so I do want to ask you this question. Do you think that the PGA Tour players are making a mistake by not giving more access to themselves?
I think this is a very difficult question because you look at other athletes, the first person who really jumps out is like Steph Curry or LeBron James, who are exceeding at such a high level in their athletics, but they're also so engaging on social media, and they just seem to be able to block out the noise when it comes to still doing both at a high level. I think the difference with golf is that if you have played it, you understand this. It just mentally messes you up. And so I think having more of that outside noise really does impact your game and how you're playing on a professional level. I also think too that sponsors, because golf is stuffy, are very cautious of their brand image. And so I think a lot of players are scared to speak their mind or show personality because you're going to get backlash from your more traditional conservative brands. And so it's not as common. And I just think too, the golf industry and the golf community is very traditional. And so anyone who has a difference of opinion or wears something a little bit differently, they are crucified at such an intense level that I totally understand why the pro golfers don't engage as much, because the amount of hate that they get online. Rory is a fantastic example. He will speak his mind and all of a sudden he is the worst person who's ever walked the planet. And you're like, he just said something that, wasn't even that controversial, but it's just the community of golf and the environment that's just bred from traditionalism and how conservative it is. And I think a lot of players just kind of shy away from that.
It's pretty funny you say that, Paige, because in football, basketball, baseball, whatever, every athlete, they have a uniform. And so the only thing they're shown walking into the locker room, and they can wear whatever they want. It's complete Peter Pan, Halloween. You can be dressed as, Obi-Wan Kenobi, or you could be dressed as, Brian Baumgartner, and it doesn't matter. You can dress as, a French maid. You're going in and you put on your Chiefs uniform and you go play, and you're the guy. And you get behind that helmet, you put on, it's a little different than being so exposed out there on the golf course. It's an interesting point. I was curious, though, you were talking about playing golf with your buddies and trash talking. Is trash talking more prevalent when four ladies are playing together, or is it mixed company, or just guys? Do these ladies get kind of catty?
It's really interesting because, golf is a male-dominated sport. And so since I ever first got into the game at, age 13, I was playing against guys. And I know a lot of women who started the game and have played at a high level, or even just play, you mostly play with other men. And so you get used to talking and interacting and trash talking in a very specific way. And so when a group of women get together, it's just the same. It's not, it's catty or anything like this. I mean, the women are like, they're trash talking, they can hold their own. And it's just because you're just so used to being in that environment of just playing with guys all the time that it really does translate into, your group when you're playing with your girlfriends.
When you started in the influencer game, did you see that the name Fat Perez had already been taken, so you just stayed with Paige? Is that?
No, what a mistake. I mean, how early Fat was.
I know.
Did you ever think of like you're you, but did you ever think of having a name, like a character, almost like what Cooper was talking about, Cam Newton outfit walking into a game?
It's really interesting you say that because Paige Renee, which is my user handle on Instagram, is my character. I think that if you see me in person and you meet me in person, then you see the content that I post online, it's vastly different. And it has become, in a way, almost like a shield for myself, because when you get a lot of hate, it is easier to separate that when it's not directly targeted at you as the person. It's targeted at this character that I created, and it's still me. It's a version of me, but it's this very like glamorous, sexy, confident, outspoken version of myself. And my everyday version of myself is introverted and interested in comic books and my dog and like all these different things that like I don't really show as much on my social media. So yeah, I think when I put the hair and the makeup and the cleavage comes out, like that is almost me putting on. But it's true though. It's like putting on my uniform and it's like me going onto the battlefield.
I know
This episode of We Need a Fourth is in the key of D.
Yes.
Double.
That might have been Cooper's best harmonica play ever. You were at the Internet Influencer Tournament, right? It's being rolled out. It's done, but it's being rolled out. Tell us about the experience.
It's been very interesting. So all of the biggest golf personalities got into a room, and it was kind of like this Ryder Cup type of environment. So they split the field into two, and then we competed against each other. Half of the field then got eliminated. We then split our group into two sections, and we are currently going into like our first section of those matches.
Paige, I noticed you made some comments recently about a celebrity golfer who was particularly slow to play with. He said he was telling too long of stories. Have you had a lot of? I know you played a lot of golf with some celebs.
Who is it?
Who would be?
Who is it?
Maybe Paige can say. I mean, I don't want to.
Chris Pratt.
Chris Pratt. Yes, a funny man.
Chris Pratt.
What happened there?
He was just so unbelievably slow. But it wasn't like a non-enjoyable round of golf. So it was this Ryder Cup that we did at the Genesis where Tiger was the captain and Fred Couples was the captain. So they had all these celebrities and we were paired up. And so it was me and Nick Jonas against Luke Wilson and Chris Pratt. And there were people walking around and Chris was just telling these elaborate stories before he would hit the ball. And so none of us can do anything until he hits the golf ball. And it was like 5 minutes for every single time he would hit. And we were like 2.5 hours behind the group in front of us.
Were they amusing stories? Was he good? Were they funny?
Yeah, they were good. And so it wasn't like, a bad round of golf, but it was a slow round of golf.
Paige, you and I more or less took the same career path where we both wanted to play on the professional tour and then decided to become golf influencers. It's not funny. That's what we're doing here. Yours has taken off better. I was on Twitter doing okay there. Then I quit. It was poison. And then I'm really late to the game. Instagram's so complicated. You got to erase photos. How the hell do you do it? Do you have like a team of hipsters that follow you around?
Oh, yeah. Do you have a team?
Yeah. Like how do you pull it off?
So it's a team of one, potentially two. So I do everything myself. Most of the pictures that you see are shot selfie style. So I just have a tripod and I'm shooting my own content. But my mom actually helps me out with a lot of the stuff that I do. Aww. So a lot of stuff that you see, my mom has shot. She shot my very first calendar that I did. And so she's kind of been there from the very beginning and someone I just feel very comfortable with. But it's always funny because people are like, your parents would be so disappointed in you. And I'm like, my mom shot this one.
is there any chance your mom was catting when Pratt was telling these long stories? Like, can he hurry up with these stories? Dear God.
No, not for that one. She wasn't out there for that one.
Now, I want to go back to the Internet Influencer Tournament. Did you all get along? Or did you feel the rivalry of, hey, I'm trying to beat that person at influencing, or they don't like me for some reason, or was it, was it collegial?
I think that we're all very respectful of what each other does and brings to the table. I think that we know that if we're all successful, it's going to help us, and we're going to be able to continue this on and create something that's really special. And I think that's why also YouTube golf has taken off. It's because we do a bunch of collabs with each other, and we're all very supportive. There's some kind of beef behind the scenes, but mostly it's just kind of silly things that happen here and there.
Let's cut right to the beef. We want the scoop. Where's the beef? I want the cat fight. Come on, Paige.
So,
let's go.
In episode 2, I was playing with Roger Steele, and we were playing against Jake Adams and Ryan Whitney. And this was a very contentious match. There was a lot of trash talking going on. And 5 years ago, Jake Adams and Roger Steele shot a video together, and Roger beat him. I mean, just absolutely killed him. And then Jake, lost the audio footage. So then the video was never posted. And so they have this kind of back and forth relationship now that's, very funny. But things like that where, it's so silly and it's kind of stupid, but there is like little beef here and there, or like someone's blocked someone else, or someone took a brand deal from this person. But all in all, everyone really does get along. And again, I think we just have a mutual respect for each other.
I got a beef with Roger Steele.
What's your beef with Roger Steele?
This is a real beef, and I was sitting here thinking, do I bring this up or not?
Bring it up.
So Roger Steele. So let's. This is a question of one. Paige, what would you say Roger Steele's handicap is?
The thing about Roger is...
No. What do you think Roger Steele's handicap is?
I would, since I played with him a decent amount, I would say he's like a +3.
Okay. So Roger Steele played 2 years ago I think he played this last year too. He played in the BMW Championships, which is the championship it's a celebrity and Korn Ferry event. You have a Korn Ferry partner. And Roger Steele and I believe I was up by one. The two of us made it to the last day. I was in the lead. Roger Steele playing as a 5. Roger Steele playing as a 5, and I believe I was playing as a 9, by the way, which was supposedly 80% of my handicap, which means basically Roger Steele beat me. And as we walked off the green, they were like ready for we got killed on the last day. Like it was, I played really well. And as I walked off, I said, I hope you enjoy this. I'm never going to speak to you again. Like as he was walking on to get his trophy. Now I was playing, but come on, you guys, a 5? You just called him a +3.5. For
some context, Roger hits it 360 yards off the tee.
And guess what, guys? I don't.
Joining us now is Roger Steele on Zoom. No, I'm a fan of his thing he does. He's funny. And he really is trying to help you improve. People like me who need improvement.
We need to have a beef with someone. This is our first beef. We have
one apparently because you lost money, right? That's
with Roger Steele.
That's the thrust of your complaint. If you're mad that he gave a sandbag number.
The thing about Roger though is that Roger can be inconsistent, and I think that his game has gone a lot better over the last year or so. And so there are times where he'll throw up a big number and then he'll shoot 6 under. So he is a very inconsistent golfer because he has so much speed. But I think that is something that happens a lot in these like celebrity golf events, are those questionable handicaps.
Sure. Wait a minute. What about this? Brian just took more money off me the other day. And after the round, somebody said, hey, was he driving with 2 bags? That was weird. I said, I thought he brought him for his friend, but his friend didn't show. Brian played with 30, 35 clubs, and I want my money back. That's 14's the max, right?
Well, our great friends at PXG, by the way, PXG, fantastic. Guys, can we say something about PXG and the clubs that they have?
She can't.
Their PXG is unbelievable. I just got their new clubs, which I can't talk about yet. And so I had a new set on there that I played
Right,
with.
but was that legal? Was that legal and fair? You had the.
I don't use them, Kenny. What are you talking about?
I'm just mad about
I didn't
losing
use.
again.
I didn't use 2 different 8 irons.
It's his emotional
Well, see, you just
support
had the other
bag.
one.
Let him have it.
Yes, thank you, Paige. See, Paige and I don't have a beef, just me and Roger. By the way, I'm trying to manufacture a beef for us guys. This is what I'm trying to
We
do.
can have a fake beef. Should we all have a fake beef going on right now?
Damn it, Roger. Damn it.
I think she means with her. No, you're good, Paige.
Okay,
you're,
I'm good for
you're
now.
Good. Yeah, we're gonna. I'll let you know if we decide to manufacture.
Yeah,
a beef.
well, what, Paige, turn it around. You've seen Brian play. You have not seen the other two of us, right?
No.
Maybe on the internet. What's our number?
Oh, don't even make her guess that. I think what we really need is a Paige Kenny beef. If that got out, this could go viral.
Well, it could help because
people would forget about Roger Steele in a heartbeat. Like
That's what I
Kenny
was
Mayne
asking.
and Paige got into a wrestling match. They got in a fight, and now it's heated, contentious. It's hatred.
I figured Paige had like the hipster knit cap and listens to vinyl records, and they're always, you know what I mean? The influencer's always a trail of like 9 hipsters. You say you do it on your own. Your mom's involved. That's awesome. But what are the keys to get more people to like what you do to then be I'm more of a boutique influencer, just a handful of people on a couch.
You know what? That's not a bad thing. You want the engaged community. It doesn't matter how many followers you have, as long as they love everything that you're doing. So for me, we got to rework the plan. Then, like for me, for example, I get a ton of hate followers. So people either love what I do or they hate what I do. And so there's always people fighting back and forth in my comments. And that's fine. You can have that. But like having a smaller audience that loves you and supports you is way more valuable these days.
Paige, you touched on in previous, I guess, conversations about having anxiety on the golf course. And I was just curious. Look, everybody's been there. It's one thing to tee off with 3 buddies next to you, and all of a sudden there's 12 people waiting to hit, or and you get a crowd, and you start thinking about things you've never thought of. Was that a real problem for you as far as just on the competitive side of golf?
100%. I was such a head case. So I was a gymnast before I switched over to golf. And even then, I loved to train. I would do well in training. Competition would roll around and I would just make the stupidest mistakes that would come out of nowhere. Same thing with golf. I would do a practice round, shoot a 64, and then a tournament round, I would shoot an 82 or a 78. And it's like, I don't know what would happen. And I've seen multiple sports psychologists. I've been so much therapy, and you either have it or you don't have it. And I just didn't have that second gear that was good, under pressure. I was never clutch, and has to do with a lot of like my personality. I am a people pleaser, and I have all these traits that really helped me in my media career, but really held me back in playing at that high level. And I just was never, ever able, even now, if I would go and tee it up with you guys, I would probably be, nervous about it and probably not play, the best of my ability. It's just playing with new people, and people's opinions of me was always like the biggest thing that held me back.
You're downplaying a little bit your abilities. I mean, you can really play, and I know that you're tremendously proud of back in 2016, a couple of years out of college. You played against the world's number 1 ranked amateur, and what happened, Paige? What?
I won a pro event. I made a cut on the European tour. Like I said, I've worked with the best instructors in the world. And I think I also say that like people come maybe for one thing, but there's a lot of substance to the golf instruction that I do. And that's the biggest thing. I think if I wasn't doing this, I would be a golf instructor. And so I have that passion. I have the knowledge, but I can't come out and say that because then people are judgmental because I didn't make it to that pro level, because someone always has something to say. So it's easier for me to make fun of myself and be self-deprecating instead of, being confident, because, people don't like that either. Kind of a lose-lose situation sometimes.
You said you had sports psychologists try to get through. Did you ever try marijuana? Because when I do that, I'll be up there and I see clowns coming out of the woods, and then I shank it worse. Like, Did you try anything and everything?
You know, it's so funny you say that because I've never done drugs my entire life because I was just I'm already so much of a head case. I was like, what would this do to me?
Kenny has moved on to peyote, which I don't recommend either. So.
No, but I hung out with Jake Plummer, and he was trying to have me get on mushrooms. I ate the candy bar mushroom, not the one that makes you high, but you sure felt good. And I was playing with Jim McMahon barefoot, and he smoked marijuana for 9 straight hours. 9 straight, world record.
Why were you with him for 9 hours? Y'all played 36?
Was Chris Pratt playing with you?
We'll talk more marijuana right after this break.
Paige, are you a movie star? Are you in movies now? Tell me about it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm kind of big time now. I had like a 2-second cameo in Happy Gilmore 2, which was the coolest experience of my life. I got to shoot my scene with Adam Sandler, who is the coolest, most humble, most genuine person I've ever met. And other than,
Kidding.
you know, the three of you, of course. But it was really special and so cool. I mean, I think we're all massive fans of the original. And so to be asked to be in the movie was very special. I was Wendy, a Dick's employee, and he came into the store and tried a couple drivers.
Was it scripted, or did they say do what you want? Was it freestyle?
You know, it's funny. I had lines, not many of them. I tried to spice one up on a take, and I was like, no, it's this line. And I was like, got it. Yep, won't ever do that again.
Well,
I'm dying to know what the line was and what got spiced up.
I blacked out, and I was like, oh, this will be funny. I'll say this, and it was not funny. So I was like, okay.
You know what? I kicked out of a movie, but there was no script. They said, do whatever you want. It was Judd Apatow, and it was Amy Schumer. She's playing Bill Hader's love interest. And they said, go up and be kind of creepy and hit on her. And I said, are you a prostitute or a doctor's wife, or is there really a difference? And that didn't make the movie. I don't mean that any offense to prostitutes or doctors' wives. It was just, they said, be a jerk.
Weird. That was my line too. You know, we're all for 2. It just never hits.
I'm still like bleeding. Like my heart is bleeding for you because I know how that feels so strongly. And it's usually like what do they call it? Oh, the director's sandwich. Do you guys know this? The director's sandwich, where they go like, okay, Paige, great job. That was really funny. Great job. You know, this time, don't do that again. The line is this. But you know what? You're doing a great job. It's like all you have to listen for is the middle of the sandwich. Oh God.
Paige, we always like to ask our guests, do you remember the greatest shot you ever hit?
Yes, I do. I was playing this college
What if
event.
you just stopped there? Yes.
Yeah.
Never ask
Next
yes,
question?
no.
There's
You
plenty
can't
of them.
That was a yes, no.
Actually,
I was
let's play
playing
that.
this college event in Florida, and I had this 225-yard shot up the hill around a tree, and I hit the most perfect 3-wood of my entire life. I just perfectly drew it around the tree up to this pin, and I hit it to a foot. And I've never hit a shot that solid before in my entire life. You are so lucky if you actually hit a solid shot, and it was the best shot I've ever hit.
And then when you roll onto the other side of the pillow, the worst shot you ever recall.
And there's so many of those, actually. Nightmares of all of
Happened in front of a lot of people, probably.
You know what? I played in the ACC Tahoe event, and there's a ton of people on the par 3 that everyone knows. And I hit the shot so far right, and I plugs in this bunker, and I'm walking up to my ball, and I just get absolutely wailed in the head because everyone's throwing balls and frisbees with a frisbee, and I'm like disheveled trying to like look around. Someone's asking me to sign their arm, like all of this stuff, and I just remember seeing like stars after getting hit in the head with this frisbee after I just completely hit like a shank off the tee.
Yeah, it's awful. having to smile after something like that.
Sign my arm.
Funny enough, he
Kenny?
comes back the next day and it was tattooed on him.
Oh, I've had that.
Really?
Oh, I've had that. Yep.
Yeah.
You mean your signature he had converted into a more permanent signature?
He said, sign my arm. I signed it. Next day, he comes back and he said, look what I did. And it's a tattoo. Permanent tattoo.
Too far.
You sure it was his arm?
It was so funny you say that because my dad loves watching me play golf, and I'll lead you in a direction.
Take me there. Take me there.
I'll take you there. And he loves watching me play golf, and so he came out to the event in Tahoe because it's a spectacle. It's so much fun, and it's competition. And there's a lot of people who say, kind of funny things about you, and they don't realize who's standing next to you. And people were coming asking me for autographs, and this kid goes, I want her to sign my his thing. And my dad was standing right next to him. And so he looks over at him and he said, her last name's too long because my last name's Spiranac.
That's a good joke.
That's a good one.
That's a good joke. I didn't know Cooper would take us all the way down that road, but he did.
Paige, thank you so much for joining us. We just got a couple of questions. My final question for you is, as a golf instructor, what is the first thing that you would work on me and my game?
Short game, for sure. Everyone can always get better with their short game and their putting. And I tell everyone that. Doesn't matter if you're a 20 handicap, if you're a scratch golfer. If you want to shoot lower scores, you need to have an elite short game. And so that is the first thing that I would work on with you. It would be, and everyone spends so much time on their full swing and trying to hit a driver far. But if you actually go to pro tournaments and watch the best in the world compete, they don't hit the ball as well as you think they do, but their short game will absolutely blow your mind. So having a really good short game is the one thing that you'll lower your scores by at least 5 shots if you just start committing to practicing short game.
Paige, is there anything in golf, like one rule that drives you crazy you'd love to change? Anything about golf at all?
Probably the least surprising answer, dress code. I don't understand why I have to wear a polo. I get it. When you were at a country club, they make their own rules. Totally fine. Same with the professional tours. It's their uniform. I get it. But if I'm going to a public golf course, it costs me $5 for a bucket of balls and $15 to play. I don't want to wear a polo. I should be able to wear whatever athletic clothes. I find the golf swing very athletic. And I think that wearing things that will help you move, and also when you're taking lessons, having things that are a little bit tighter, you can actually see how the body is moving. It's very, very helpful, and it will help people get into the game. Most people don't have the money or resources to be able to go out and get a whole new wardrobe. And so you can find athletic clothes in your wardrobe at any point, and I think it should be acceptable on public golf courses.
And we shouldn't have to keep our shirts tucked in because I don't.
No.
Stupid rule.
And
Kenny's got a great belly button.
It's not so much for that. It's more, I feel it's more my personality. I never tuck in a shirt. I'll wear halfway good pants, halfway button down, nice shirt to go out to dinner or whatever. But I'm not tucking it in. It's just
and you shouldn't have to. I don't think you should have
but you
to
do
that.
at certain places.
I know.
Paige, will you be our fourth? Will you play with us sometime?
Absolutely.
Are you in Del Mar right now?
I'm not right now.
All right, not today. We'll play a different day.
I'll come find you, though.
I got the gloves ready to go. I'm ready to go.
Paige, thank you so much for joining us. Really, it's so good to see you again. And I'll find you next time I'm down in the Arctic Circle.
Absolutely.
Just as Mazda brings you more of everything you love, we too are here to offer you a bit more of our show. We Need a Fourth. More Than a Drive is brought to you by our good friends at Mazda.
Thanks to Mazda's More Than a Drive, guess what, guys? We get to do more. We need a fourth. Our guest today, obviously, Paige Spiranac. Now, since we recorded her episode, the Internet Invitational has wrapped. Gentlemen, we now have champions, our friends, if you remember, Fat Perez, Paige Spiranac, participated. Paige, actually, her team was the runner-up. I wanted to note, make sure you guys were aware, the winners, Brad Dalkey, Francis Ellis, and Beef, Cody Beef, who unfortunately passed away. He won the tournament. His dream was to win the tournament so that his parents could pay off the house. He indeed won and passed away shortly after completing the tournament. So shout out to the winners. Shout out to Beef. Is this the biggest thing that's happened in golf for the last few years? This Internet Invitational and all of the other YouTube golfers and stars. Is this bringing more attention to the game of golf? Is this good for golf or not?
Absolutely. I mean, I love horse racing, as you know, and I've been saying this forever. The way to get younger people excited about it, do some fun stuff, show them it's fun to go, and the whole thing. And I think all of these internet influencers have done that for golf, right? They've democratized it to some degree, right? You know, they go out there, they have fun, they make fun of themselves, they give you tips sometimes, they do a lot of different things. And with so many people not watching regular standard TV and doing it on their phones or their computers, the timing was right.
Do you think the old school golf pros like it? Or do they think it's not real golf?
Well, some of them have gotten involved. Aren't there a whole bunch of people doing it a little more standard? And then there's the other ones who do a little more fun, and there's room for all. There's a lot of golf courses.
I think that guys that are traditional, historically, wear long pants, don't have music on in the cart if they're even riding.
Right.
If they probably go to a place like a Discovery Land place, they go down to Baker's Bay and you see music on the range and people hitting balls in bathing suits and no shoes, and they're probably at first taken aback, but when their wife maybe is having a margarita and hitting balls and laughing, and then the kids or grandkids are doing it, they probably can warm up to it. It just takes a little bit.
I mean, it started right out of the pandemic. I mean, that's really where it started. You have people like Paige, who was our guest today, who started before that. But it feels like it really took off as golf exploded and took off during the pandemic. I think I'm surprised that it's still going on. That we still have new people, new outlets to watch it. But I think it's awesome.
How often do you two look at videos that come down your alley and go, oh, wait, I'm going to listen to this guy. He's going to tell me how to do this or that?
I was on literally a exercise walk today, and something popped up, and I stopped at the corner, and the guy's like talking about keeping his left arm straight, and I'm doing this, and their car is passing going, what the heck? Is this guy taking a practice swing right here before the red light? I mean,
my question, why golf? Like, why do you think it's golf? Why not basketball or football?
I'm going to tell you why. Because in life, you played sports growing up. Whatever sports you played growing up are most likely to be the ones you would continue. You don't all of a sudden pick up baseball at 35 or start playing hoops at 35. You're definitely not going to be joining a flag football league. Bowling, maybe. But golf is something you can pick up at any time, and it's hard. You're not going to be very good. It's okay not to be good. Beautiful handicap system. And no one wants to play 3-on-3 with a guy who can't dribble, who are people who are good players. They don't mind playing with a guy as long as he plays fast. No one cares.
I think it's like anything else. Like, you hit the point. It's what you love, what you grew up with. I don't play football anymore. I'm like 200 years old, but I still will watch somebody break down. Here's why this happened. Like, I find it interesting. I like to know the what's behind it. I don't necessarily do that for hockey. No offense to hockey, because I didn't play hockey. But golf, those who play are always wanting to learn.
I think hockey is offended now.
I don't mean to offend
hockey. Specifically is offended.
Well, I love the crack. Go crack.
Offending hockey during the holiday season is just downright rude, Kenny.
I could have said highlight. I love highlight. Not many people are watching how-to tapes about highlight, right?
Oh, you're wrong about that.
This has been Mazda. Thank you so much. More than a drive from We Need a Fourth.
Guys, I'm sincere when I say that I'm clearly the sharpest dresser on the green. I care about my wardrobe, and that's because I care about quality. Mazda's like me. I'm like Mazda. They use more premium materials. Mazdas are a reminder that quality is something you should feel on every journey. Every surface is brought to life by the devotion of Takumi craftsmen, inviting every touch to feel the supple grain of available Napa leather and the trace of intricate quilted stitching. Look, I'm about craftsmanship. If you saw me, you can tell by my custom clubs. I'm no hack. Mazda gets it. They get me. That's why we're partnering. And from the available genuine wood trim on select models to Japanese craftsmanship in every detail, every single inch is designed to make you feel connected behind the wheel. Mazda crafts cars for those who do more than simply move. There's more to move you. Move and be moved. Discover more at MazdaUSA.com.
That was so much fun. Paige Spiranac. She joined us. She said yes to us.
I liked her a lot.
She's fun. I didn't know she's a stick, a real golfer.
And oftentimes,
you guys underestimated.
I blew that one. But oftentimes you'll meet someone, you know about them in some way, and then they disappoint. In this case, my thoughts about her improved. Like, I like her a lot. She's fun. She's very honest, and a great interview.
I think self-deprecating and honest, and just she gets it.
Kenny, good to see you again. Thanks for teaching me betting.